High Seas is the new set of Flesh and Blood that's coming out soon. And in each booster box of this new set of Flesh and Blood contains a treasure pack, a golden pack that contains really nice cards and has a chance to contain really big collectible pieces. And I wanted to talk about the product implementation of this treasure pack and just a little bit of tidbits of advice that I would give regarding pulling something crazy out of these packs. So first I want to talk about the implementation of this. Now, the Legend Story Studios team is really great at just learning from their product implementations over the time. And I believe that they looked at what happened with Part the Misfail and how there's a gold pack in a random amount of boxes. And instead of doing that in High Seas, every box gets a treasure pack. And the really great thing I think that this solves is the boxes used to be able to be weighed. Because if you have a box that has 24 packs and a box that has 25 packs, the scale is going to tip a little bit heavier for the box that has 25 packs. In this way, you can't weigh boxes. Every box has a treasure pack. So every box has, 25 packs. So all the boxes weigh the same. Now, this won't mean that there won't be sneaky bastards out there who, have metal detectors over the pack, or they open the pack and then they reseal it with some items very easily, or, they do nefarious things with the specific pack. So if you were an individual who's buying online who wants just the pack outside the box, it's probably not going to be a smart idea because it's going to be weighed or it's going to be scanned, or there's going to be ways that people can take out the heavy hits, so they're selling you the lower hits. So that I'm okay with, because that's happening in every TCG. Now, is it bad for people to do that? Yeah, but like, as a consumer, you are well aware that it can happen and you're buying based off of that. So I think that the way that this implementation is done, where every box has a gold pack, so you have to open the booster box first to get the gold pack, is great. It's a system to where people on the front end can't take out certain boxes and the end consumer gets screwed without knowing. And it just gives the consumer a good feeling, like, hey, like, I have a gold pack, like everyone gets a gold pack. Now everyone might not hit something really great, but even still they have the chance of hitting something great. I think in Part the Misfail it sucked because you open the box and you're like, dang it, I don't even have the chance to get something great or something bad. I don't even have that pack. So this way, I think it gives a lot more to the end consumer of, whoa, I have a gold pack that I can open, and what have you. I will say too, I really like the treasure aspect that James White has just designed into this, right? Like, the highest rarity thing is what he considers highest rarity, which is WTR and Arcane Rising legendary cards from his personal collection that he signed. And there's a bunch of test print cards as well, but that was like the main focus, I believe. And he even said in a video on Legend Story Studios YouTube channel, I loved it. It was like, hey, WTR and Arcane Rising were the first couple sets that, along with, Crucible War, that's the really, collectible piece in his mind, and that's felt really great because I love those sets, right? I've been around for a bit, and it's nice to hear people pumping that set. And of course, I'm very biased because I've got a lot of Alpha WTR and Arcane Rising, as everyone is aware. But even still, it's nice that he's putting a focus on that, and instead of, okay, you can't reprint these things, well, why don't we just take it out of his binder and put it out there. And overall, it's a really cool thing to say as a collector that you have. Say, hey, I've got James White's Spring Tunic, or James White's Mask of Momentum. Like, that is so cool. And there was even a Facebook post a very long time ago in Flesh and Blood on James White's Facebook where he compared I believe the Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising legendaries and the Fables to the Power 9 of Magic the Gathering. And it was a really cool side by side. And those cards in that Facebook post are most likely the ones he signed that is going to be put in these packs, which is a really awesome piece of Flesh and Blood history. Now, the one thing I want to just disclaim for everyone out there who's opening this, as this goes into my advice column, The first part I talked about more of just a general overview of the implementation, and I think Chef's Kiss, this is done brilliantly. I love the implementation. I think High Seas is going to be a really big hit, and these treasure packs are going to be just complete fire. Now, if you are lucky to have opened one of these cards, the biggest thing you have to understand is provenance. And I want to give a shout out to John. You know who you are. Really great supporter of the channel over the years. I greatly appreciate you. You gave me this idea for this video of learning about the provenance, or just teaching about the provenance of where the collectible card comes from. And what I mean by that is, long story short, just videotape when you're pulling a gold pack. Like if you're opening a gold pack, get it on camera. Because if you pull one of these cards, you are most likely going to want to sell it to a high-end collector. Now, these cards, I have no idea what they're going to go for, but when I'm saying those cards, I mean the legendaries, and the legendaries from WTR and Arcane Rising, right? Or even any of the test print cards, the big hit cards, right? You want to have it on video when you're opening it. And the reason why is because if you're a high-end collector out there and you see someone selling a Mask of Momentum signed by James White that it was part of his collection, you're like, well, wait a minute. Did someone just buy that Mask of Momentum off of, the Discords or eBays and then just fake James White's signature and then is trying to pawn it off out there? There is an aspect of that, and you know that there's going to be idiots who do that. You know that that's going to happen. And I would tell you out there, if there's a fake signature on a card, that card price drops to 20% of the original value. I don't care what you say. It is a damaged card. So either you, when you're buying this as a collector, you're thinking in your mind, either this is a damaged card and it's worth 20% of the original value, or it's a signed card from James White's personal collection that's worth at least 2 to 3 times as much as just a normal copy. Who knows what it will end up being? Maybe it'll be more, a little bit less than that, but it's definitely having a big premium. But how can you know for sure where this thing came from? And the best thing as a buyer is if the seller says, hey, I actually have this video of me in the LGS opening the pack and people are around me seeing this, or oh man, I was at Pro Tour London or something, and I opened it and then I started videotaping it and there are people around me, so it can verify. Like people are like, oh wow, nice hit, buddy. Like you need some type of video evidence in order to sell the card more easily. That's what I'm saying here. This is just a little PSA, little word to the wise, a little advice out here. Is that whenever you're opening one of these gold packs, right? All you have to do is pull out your camera. Like I'm filming on a camera right now. Just pull out your camera, open the pack, and if you hit something great, then save the video, and then you can use that video when you're giving it off the seller. Now, it's up to you how much personality you want to include in the video. If it was me personally, I'd probably flip the camera and show my face, because then I have my Facebook profile that has my face, and I have a video that has my face with the card that I pulled, and then people around me at an event or something. You have that provenance, so someone who is a collector buys or is interested in buying your card, they can see that there's a video out there that they can view. They see you opening it, or they see it at least on the table in an LGS or in an event where people around you have seen you open it. So it just adds a lot more credibility to the card. Now, what I will say is the biggest thing as a collector, if you're thinking about buying these cards, on the YouTube channel of FabTCG, James White, when he made the video, something you can look at is that it shows the signature on all of these cards. So the signature placement on the card is a good way of verifying it, right? Where you can see on the card in the YouTube video where it's signed. So long story short, if you see someone selling a signature and it's down at the bottom, but then you see James White really signed it more towards the middle, you know that, okay, something's not right here. This one might be fake. So that's definitely something you want to pursue if you're trying to buy one of these cards. Look at it, because overall the signature is pretty easy to fake, and unfortunately, as the world works, people like to make money, so they're going to do this. Something I think that would have been really cool And I don't know if this is going to occur in the future or whatnot. But in the booster pack that these are pulled from, it would have been really cool to have like a redemption card, and that redemption card is like a proof of authenticity card. Maybe it's there. Who knows? You know, not everything has been disclosed from Legend Story Studios about this treasure pack as of yet. But what would be really cool about the redemption card is if you could send it out for PCG, and they could grade it, and they have somewhere in the top of the, well, what is it, the label of the, you know, plastic, it says, hey, from James White's collection. I think that would be really cool. Like if you're a collector and you see a slab with a James White collection, you know, spring tunic, that adds so much credibility, and it does all the bullshit work for you of authentifying what the card is, and if it's, you know, fake or real. So I really think that that is an opportunity. If it hasn't been done, then it could be in the future. I'm sure because PCG updates the labels here and there for a bunch of different things. I think that would have been cool to, you know, implement just for, you know, clout, but also because the high-end collectors would really value that, because then it would just add so much peace and security, and you wouldn't need as much of a video. It would be very nice. So that's my thought process and how this could have been alleviated from collector's point of view who's buying the card. If there was some type of authentication thing like that had a certain serial number, and then LSS knows all the serial numbers, and then when it's sent to PCG they can say yes or no if it's authentic or not. That's how I would have done it, I think, if I was putting this out in the wild. But who knows? This is still early on. Maybe that's being withheld right now. But just that's my thoughts on that. But let me reiterate in the end. I know I've been nitpicking here and there, but overall, just a summation. I love this idea of the treasure packs. It sounds like it's going to be epic, and these boxes are going to sell really well because it's going to bring in those high-end collectors, and it's going to bring in just people in general who like money. Like even players like money. I know that's hard to believe, but everyone likes to make money. Everyone likes to have a good gambling experience. It's just the truth. So I think that they did a really good job with it, and everyone gets a gold pack in every box. I think that that's brilliant, and I really like the collectability aspect of the stuff that they put in the cards. I've been a little bit nitpicky in the past of like different high-end chase cards that they've put in certain sets. This set, I think they knocked it out of the park. It's brilliant. But I really also want to commend in the video on Legend Story Studio site. Please check it out. It's really good. You've probably seen it. But James White talks about thinking about signing the full set of rainbow foils for Arcane Rising and putting it in the set. But then he thought about it. I was like, well, he didn't want to do it because then it would nullify the chase that you get, and people might not want like a random rainbow foil common, right? And I think that that was really well thought through. And I've said that in the past. It's like with you know, the dragons, for instance, the full art marvels, right? You don't want a full art marvel that's below $50 because like you see it and you're like, whoa, I got a hit, and then you look it up on TCG Player and it's like, oh, it's only $20. So this prevented that, right? And I think that, yeah, it would have been cool to get like a common that was from James White's collection, but overall, when you're pulling it, when you have that experience, when you're like, whoa, what's this? What's this? And then it's like, it's a blue Fate Foreseen rainbow foil signed by James White that's like $25. Like, it would have cheapened the experience, the end experience, and the hit dopamine rush of the people who open it. So now when anyone opens up a card that looks different and is like, whoa, this is signed, it's a hit. Like, no matter what you see, it doesn't matter if it's the worst legendary card, it is a hit. You made a lot more money than the box that you spent on. It's a good pull. So I really like the in-depth like thought process on what was added to the box and what to put in, and just the different collectible pieces out there that are like test cards and whatever have you. It was very well thought out of, and everything that was displayed in that video that could be added looks great. It looks just really awesome. I'm looking forward to it, and I really like the lottery card aspect of the high hit rate items in the pack as well. So just brilliant overall. But just in conclusion, videotape your pulls, man. It's just smart. If you're trying to sell it to a high-end collector, you don't want to sell it to them on the back foot to where you can't prove the authenticity of what you pulled. It'll be so much easier, and you'll probably get a lot more money if you prove a video like, hey, this is me at an event videotaping it. One thing I will definitely say as well is when you're videotaping, make sure no one around steals your card. You definitely don't want that. I will definitely pepper that in. If you are at an event and you pull something, videotape safely, because you don't want someone to quickly like grab and run out the store. Like, yeah, it happens, unfortunately. With money comes problems, but also great sales when you know how to sell stuff and you can do it with a video attached. So that's my thoughts. Cheers, man.